He was considered a very esteemed and cultured individual by his peers. Now, the task of invading the Philippines has been assigned to the Imperial Japanese 14th Army, commanded by one Lieutenant General Homma Masaharu. An interesting character amongst the Japanese, because I would say he's one of the gentler generals, we'll call him.
That's
He was
pretty. That's a pretty subjective term.
he was known at, well, I mean, amongst the Japanese, it's like, oh, it's like saying, oh, of the generals in the Mongol horde, he killed the least amount of people. They kind of General Homa was known as the poet general. He was an amateur playwright. He's also a painter, and he led a pro-British American faction within the Imperial Japanese Army. Quite niche, to be part of that. He was considered a very esteemed and cultured individual by his peers. He had spent 8 years in Britain, so it's obviously where he becomes a bit of an Anglo lover, sorry, not phobe, where he even served in the British Expeditionary Force in France in 1918. He earned a military cross for his service. So he saw some action, on the Western Front. His deep respect and understanding of Western culture led to his appointment as a military attaché to Britain in the 30s, and he was quite proficient in English. Now, he demonstrated his capabilities as a commander during the Second Sino-Japanese War, and he famously cautioned against the violent aftermath of the Nanking Massacre, stating publicly this quote, "Unless peace is achieved immediately, it will be disastrous." His stance resulted in his removal from the front lines and subsequent reassignment as the commander of the Taiwan Army District from 1940 to 1941. That's a huge demotion, by the way. Unlike many other of his counterparts, Homma garnered criticism from his superiors for being gentler towards the enemy, further solidifying this reputation as the poet general. So it's kind of a slight against him. You got to remember, the Imperial Japanese Army in the Showa era is, I don't know how else to describe it, evil. They're brutal. They brutalize each other. There's an enormous issue with abuse, all the way from the top of the file going down. You want to be as cutthroat as possible to be in this military. They believe, yeah.
I think I would just say, compared to like interwar British generals and officers, which were expected to talk, about cricket, politics, everything else. This just feels like the complete polar opposite of like an atmosphere for an army commander.